So Steve Bedwell was one of the first magicians that I encountered at a convention when I first got into magic, and I started to like actually go to gatherings where I was meeting other professional magicians. Steve was one of the first guys that I saw. He had just recently won the gold cups at the IBM convention. It was a prestigious award. It was a pretty big deal. And he was very friendly, and he, you know, I sort of was able to talk to him right away, which is one of the great things about magic conventions, right? You can really hang out with folks that you admire and have conversations with them. And Steve was that to me, right? He actually like sort of opened the door for me a little bit and, you know, showed me that professional magicians were not, you know, out of reach and unobtainable. And Steve was just really cool to me and had really strong, great magic. You know, it was really cool to be able to hang out with the guy and talk to him about his stuff that he was doing. And, you know, sort of feel like I was in the fold as a young man when I was first coming to conventions. So that's why I picked Steve today, because I think it's really strong, cool magic. And I think it all still stands up today, even though it's, you know, what is it? This stuff's probably about 30 years old now.
Wow. I just liked him because he was nice to my friend.
It's a good reason, you know, someone's nice to your friend. It's a, you know, it helps. It helps.
Really good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. So Adam, what's the first clip that we have today over there?
All right, let's check it out. Let's see here. Yeah. Here we go. Clip number 1 coming at ya right now.
Bam.
Coming to get ya.
Coming to get you.
Can you see it?
Got it. We're in.
Somewhere. Okay, what I'd like you to do, Deborah, is I'd like you to take the cards, give the cards a shuffle.
Okay.
Just take your time.
Take my time. It's been a while. How's that?
Hey, look at that.
Man.
Pretty good?
King of cards.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Did I just see a young Alex Slimmer?
Yeah.
Back it up, baby.
Oh, look at that. Oh, 9th grade?
Nah.
Yeah, no, I might have been in junior high there, man. No, I was older than that.
Holy
This is a
smokes.
bar. I was old enough to drink, but just.
That is a good looking dude.
I agree.
Hey, thanks, man.
Man.
Pretty good?
Dealer from Vegas.
King of cards. King of cards. Now, would you like to give the cards a cut?
Yes.
Yeah, move the box out of the way. Give the cards a cut.
Scissors.
Got an act.
You dare. You dare.
Okay.
Okay? Right, give him another cut. Oh, I'm sorry, I've still left some cards in here. I never said I played with a full deck. Here we go. Now, here's the deal. You see? Now think about this for a moment. You've cut the card, you've shuffled the cards. Okay, there we go. You've cut the cards. There are 4 aces in this deck. They could be lost just about anywhere. Is there an ace near the top?
No.
Have I got your focal length right? No ace near the top. Is there an ace near the bottom?
No.
No ace near the bottom. I rest my case. Square them up, check nothing's protruding. Here we go. Reaching in with just one hand. Here's the deal. I reach in with just one hand and try to cut an ace. The ace of spades. Notice the card above isn't an ace, the card below isn't an ace. I came that close to screwing up. In fact, it might have even been closer, but here we go. A second chance to be impressed. Ace number 2, cutting an ace. This time, the ace of hearts. You know, thank you. You see, the deal is, I can even do this, Deborah, with my eyes shut. In fact, here, be honest, can I see a thing? In fact, Deborah, come round behind me. Come round behind me. Come round behind me, Deborah. Come round behind me. Oh, you have? Okay. Right, what I want you to do is cover your fingers with my eyes. Okay, so I shut my eyes, my brain switches off. What can I tell you? Okay, cover my eyes with your fingers. That's it. Okay, here we go. Ace number 3. I apologize for my butt here. What's wrong with this picture?
She's too short.
Where the hell are the cards? Oh, here we go. Here we are. This must look really great. Anyone just switching the video on halfway through, what the hell are they going to think? Here we go, cutting another ace. Is that an ace? Yes! You can come and sit down now, Deborah. That's 3 aces down. Leaves us just the 1 ace to go. In an effort to impress you, the 4th ace is going to jump from my left hand, make several somersaults in the air, and land between, that's right, actually between the 2 aces over here. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Here we go. Ace number 4, the ace of clubs. I'd like to see this myself. Here we go. Cutting the deck. An ace jumps from the center of the deck. And there it is. There's the ace of clubs, and that's all 4 aces. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think that that's really a great handling of that trick, because it's really, for me, it was an accessible handling of the estimation aces that made it so I could actually do that trick and play. And that was a great piece to be starting with, and learning how to just be in front of people and do magic, because the sleight of hand that you have to do is minimal. There's some work you have to do. There's some things you have to do to make that routine work, but you can spend more time concentrating on interacting, because the stuff that you have to do is pretty low tech. And for me, that seemed like just a great routine for that. I definitely enjoyed performing that routine a lot. And you know, it was only because I saw Steve do the thing and he taught me how to do the thing. And it's, you know, it's, like I said, it's accessible. It's a good one.
Be a 1 in the chat if you're not familiar with the idea of estimation aces. If that's a new idea to you.
We have a 1 in the chat.
Heard about it. Okay. So, Alex, would you care to let everyone know what estimation aces is?
Sure. It's a way to present the idea of legitimately cutting the deck cold and cutting to an ace. And the way that you're doing it is you are genuinely putting the aces side by side in the middle of the deck, and you're cutting into that slug of 4 aces. And by the order that they're set up in, you know where you're at every time you cut, and you can displace so that everything stays in the middle. Or when you get about halfway through, in Steve's method, 1 goes to the bottom, 1 goes to the top, right? By breaking up and cutting and removing the ace and showing I could have been close, I was off by 1, right? Through that procedure that looks like it's just you showing that everything is fair, you're actually setting up each phase after it. And it's Ed Marlowe's. I think it's got to be one of the most ingenious ways to do a supposed cold ace cutting routine from a shuffled deck. And you legitimately shuffle the cards to get them into the center of the deck, which makes it even cooler. But like I said, Ed Marlowe's routine definitely had some challenges for me as a young man getting into this that, you know, I don't think I would have overcome and got this thing up on its feet and been able to do it. It wasn't until I saw Steve's routine.
Hey, Alex. So there was an interesting little gambit that he used at the beginning of that routine to get into it, which with this idea of having them cut and shuffled and saying, "Oh, I forgot a few cards." Did you use that gambit when you were exploring this and learning this?
In the beginning, I did pull them out of the box, but that, you know, necessity is the mother of all invention. That was the reason I learned how to palm cards, so that I could palm those cards off, hand them the deck, let them shuffle, and then add the cards back on when I got the deck back. But yes, in the beginning, for sure, I totally had them in the box and, you know, just basically leaving those behind or leaving them under the cellophane and pretending that they're coming out of the box. Both of those methods I used because it was just an easy way to basically hold out cards. But like I said, you know, eventually I realized that the method was you need to just palm those aces out and load them back on. You know,
do you think that flies by? Do you think that gambit sort of flies by your average spectator?
I know it does. I know it does, because what's happening, if you watched it and you knew what was happening, it's obvious what's happening. But if you're a spectator and you're dealing with that, it's sort of like that moment like in football when they call blitz. You know what I mean? Everything is just rushing at you at the same moment. Shuffle those cards, give them a cut. And then you pick up the card box, you go, oh, wait a second, looks like there's more in there. You drop them on, and then you start shuffling, and then you give them that Pharaoh shuffle. You're blitzing them, you know what I mean? You're hitting them with so much information. I don't think they have a chance to recognize that sort of is happening. Plus, you're shuffling right afterwards. And for me, it always felt like it disarmed the whole thing, and I never was busted on that element of it, ever.
You know, what's interesting is we exist in a bubble where everyone's really familiar with cards. playing cards, right? It's like that was a Magic convention or something, wasn't it? Where was that shot, Alex?
That was actually after a Magic convention at a bar for a specific shoot for that thing, right?
Right.
In that instructional video.
So before I start, the second thing I do after I visit a table, I'm having people sign the card, and I'll hand the deck, the signed cards going around the table, I'll hand the deck to the person on my left, and I'll say, do you know how to shuffle cards? And more often than not, they say no.
Totally.
That they do not know him.
That's right.
So what you're saying is exactly right. If you get someone shuffling, they're just like, that's the most concentration they could possibly have is to shuffle those cards.
To your point, Steve, sometimes they won't shuffle, and you just say, well, just give them a cut. And sometimes you even have to show them how to give them a cut.
Yeah.
And in doing that, through that process, you add those cards on through that.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about anything. Yeah, it's pretty clean. Pretty
easy.
Now,
but learn to palm, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
How about estimation aces was always, you've got your 4 aces and you shuffle them so there's 3 cards in between them. And so you can cut, you've got a lot of leeway on the first ace. Virtually anywhere you cut within a whole chunk in the middle, it's going to have if the ace isn't there, it's there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next time you do it, it gets harder. You diminish the amount of space that you can go by a quarter. And by the time you've cut to 2 aces, you're actually getting into a situation where 4 cards you got at, Alex, at that point?
Yeah, you have to hit within 4 cards, which is almost impossible, especially if you don't have cutting skills and haven't worked that out. Forget about it, right?
So, one of the things about the trick is that you really are cutting the aces. And I think that's why magicians like it so much, is it feels like the real thing. The problem is, generally speaking, especially as you're getting started with this stuff, you kind of want effects to get easier as they go. Right? So as it seems to be more impossible, it would be better if it was getting easier for the magician. But in this case, the first 2 are not self-working, but they're pretty easy to do. And you find that as you're practicing, when you get to that 3rd ace, all of a sudden you're feeling a big skill differential between what you have and what you need to be able to nail that even vaguely consistently. And so I think, Alex, one of the things you're saying you like about this so much is that he sort of shifts tack after the first 2 aces, and the last 2 become perfect and easy.
That's right. And there's a subtitle to the trick, right? He calls it estimation aces, and the subtitle is "It doesn't matter," right? Because it matters for those first 2, but the last 2, it doesn't matter, because like I said, after you're done with it, you basically shift from it being cutting to the middle to you cut 1 to the top and 1 to the bottom, right? So now it's just basically like a slip cut to get it from the top, and he did a hot shot cut to get it from the bottom, but it could easily be replaced by some other, easy revelation, and again, it was a reason to get a hot shot cut into, working order so that you could have that nice revelation,
Right.
But it doesn't matter, right? It's because you have those 2 cards exactly where you want them, and it doesn't matter. You can get them easily without,
Any number of ways.
without much work, right?
I like that second phase especially too, where he did the cut and then displaced that card, put it back on top.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And if you think about it, when he's doing that, he's making the slug, because if it's 4 aces with a card in between, he cuts, he pulls out that odd card. So now it's just ace and different, right? For the next phase. And then you cut into that block, and then you're shifting, right? 1 goes to the top, 1goes to the bottom. And it doesn't matter at that point, right? That's where the subtitle comes in.
We had a request for maybe a reference where somebody can learn that. Alex, do you have that on hand, or do you happen to know where somebody
I'll
can
do
get
this. How about I bring that into the next Our Favorite Tricks, and we'll just break that whole thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Let's do that. That'll be fun.
Thank you.
Great.
Good request, bro. Well done.
Cool.
Let's check out another Bedwell effect. This is one of his better ones here too, as well. Parked card. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I think this is a masterpiece.
Here we
This
go.
is so fun. And
That's nice
for
and
those
fun.
that are paying attention from the last few, notice how this is similar to an effect you might have seen Heba Haba Al, J.C. Wagner, Doc Eason do. Just keep that in mind as you're watching this. It's really clever.
I'm going to spread through the cards, Deborah. I'd like you just to touch one.
Just a,
Anyone you like. Yeah, sure, that's fine by me. Are you happy with that one, or would you like to change your mind?
change our mind.
You'd like to change your mind. Okay, right. Well, okay, take a look at the card. I won't look. Write your name once more, big and bold, across the face of the card.
Don't look.
I'm just looking in the monitor. What can I tell you? Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Recap the pen. Oh, you have. Thank you. Last one I have. Okay, here we go. I'm going to dribble through the cards. You just say stop.
Stop.
Let's try that again.
Stop.
Okay, pop your card. Because you see, what I'm going to do, did everyone get to see the card? I'm going to lose the card somewhere in the deck. Whoops, nearly came out the other side there. We'll just lose it in the deck. See, I'm not going to try and find your card. No. I'm going to cut to 3 cards. And by those 3 cards, I'm going to tell you the name of your card. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Absolutely true. Watch. 1, 2, 3 piles. Now, I've cut to a black card, a red card, and another red card. Now, that's a black card, which means your card was a red card?
Correct.
Yes! This is a diamond, which means your card was a heart.
What?
Well, I meant a diamond. Okay, one each. This is all on this card. This is a high card, so your card was a high-ish, low. So it was a low diamond. Am I even close? You see, Deborah, I'm actually a lot closer than you think, because at the beginning of the trick, we took the cards out of a box, which is sitting on the table, and sitting on the box is a card. If you'd like to take a look. Go on, that's right, build up the... Yes! Thank you very much.
I know there's more, but I was just going to say that was a pretty cool. I didn't see that coming at all.
Right. If you don't know it's coming, there's no way you can, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
No idea what happened when.
I also like just to mention, like, there's a you can definitely learn a little bit watching the way that Steve like handles his audience here, because he's definitely going for some cueing for some comedy moments, right?
No doubt.
And at the beginning, I thought there was one thing in particular that he does that's kind of funny. Like, if you watch the pacing of the way this starts, let me see if I can just cue it back up real quick. Here we go. So this is way back at the beginning, okay? And he does this.
Anyone you like? Yeah, sure, that's fine by me.
That's not the moment.
Are you happy with that one, or would you like to change your mind?
All right.
Change our mind.
You'd like to change your mind.
So he does this, right?
Okay, right, well,
And then he does this, and then he gestures like that. Then he's like, this is taking forever. And I can't tell if he was like psychologically trying to get the spectator to actually stall and do that, or if she was just doing that and he was reacting to it, you know? So it's like, it's kind of tricky to know like which way he was going with that for sure. But let me see where we left off. Sorry. Oh, I know what it was. It was the moment of the box load. But hold on, before we do that, let's
play the trick first. Let's go back after. Watch him do it so you can keep the momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
You see it?
I'm going to take your card. Now, you need to think about this. I'm going to take your card, your signed card. Oh, it was the 4 of diamonds. Exactly what I thought. I'm going to take your card and place it face down in the face down deck. Now, which way is the card facing?
Down.
If I turn the deck face up, which way is it facing?
Up.
That was getting tough for you there,
Yes,
wasn't it?
it was.
Okay. Now, if I snap my fingers, riffle the deck, which way is the card facing now?
Up.
Up.
Down.
Oh, you're ahead of me there. Here we go. Once more, looking through the deck. What was your card again?
4 of diamonds.
Do you remember at the beginning of the trick we took the cards out of a box, which is
Yeah.
sitting on the table, and sitting on the box is a card? Yes!
Got me.
You got me.
That's great. That's a new way.
Okay. Now, Deborah, you know where the card's going to end up.
Yeah.
We know where the card's going to end up. That's what he said.
Yes!
You put it there, please, Kieran.
Oh, man, I'm pleased I chose you, Deborah. I really am. Without you, I don't have an act. Okay, here we go. You know where the card's going to end up. You've obviously shown us there. It's going to end up on the box. You know where the card's going to start out. Take the card, because my job, you'll appreciate by now, is to distract you. Your job is to keep watching the box. I'm sorry, that's Deborah's chair over there. Yes! Keep your eye on the box. He's winking at you. He wants you. You're going to look at the box, aren't you? Okay, well, you just keep looking at the box. I want everyone else to keep watching the card. Because see, I'm going to lose the card into the deck, but I'm going to do it at fingertips. I'm going to do it as slowly as I possibly can. Watch. At fingertips, losing the card, the signed 4 of diamonds into the deck as slowly as I possibly can. Watch the box. Did you see the box move?
Yeah.
Well, clearly this time the card isn't on the box. It's not under the box. Oh, I'm sorry. It's got stuck in there. I don't want to touch it. You unfold it. You show everyone. Is that your card? Come on! Is that yes? Yes!
Oh. You know what's interesting? It's like very straightforward magic, very straightforward sleight of hand, you know, and so powerful. The look on her face when in the beginning she's not even playing along really, you know, she's looks at herself as a little bit of an adversary till he just bludgeons her to the point where she's like, I give up. And it's very straightforward.
It's card under the drink, right? Without a drink, it's as good as it gets.
It's great.
It's all organic.
So
it's all just built into the card box. It's wonderful.
Yep. Love it.
I like how it's called parked card because it's like parked car. I was just realizing, which I thought was pretty clever.
He's good, right?
It is good. He's parking that card right there. It's great, man.
He was rolling the cards and couldn't square them. Like that's a pretty good bit, actually, right in the middle. And it's good for pacing because he breaks up the routine to give a moment because we want to see it again, so we have a moment to like breathe and like, okay, now we're gonna get back into it. But
that's one of those moments, though, Mark. I could see you play that moment the right way, man.
You should totally take that. That could fit your act really well. I
Aaron
think.
turned to me and went, "That's totally your style bit," but it's really.
I could see you make that thing pay off. Is my point.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be so great if he wouldn't scream in the mic, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
When he screamed, "Come on!" Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And to his, you know, for Steve, I'm going to say this. This is probably one of a handful of times that this guy was probably being videotaped up at that point in his life. You know what I mean? So I would guess that after this, he probably spent a lot of time, you know, in self-realization, just looking at that going, wow, I scream a lot, or, you know, whatever it is that he sees of himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would guess that things changed after this video.
I mean, because I'm looking at that, and that's like late 80s probably.
It's early 90s, maybe like 90.
Early 90s,
yeah, 92, 93.
So her haircut's a little behind. But
Ouch. Poor lady.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
So video was a big deal to get video at that point.
It really was. You're right.
It was a big deal.
Exactly.
It'd be so hard for people to understand. Like, Mark, do you when you were coming up in Magic, like, was it a big deal to have your act videotaped?
No.
Not at all, right?
No.
No, not for me.
No, like the things we had to do to get our act videotaped. Woo!
Yeah.
I literally volunteered to videotape like JV basketball games so I could have access to some of the equipment. It was horrible. It looked like you were doing shit on the surface of the moon. Like, you know, it's like that quality is what you're like videotape on reels, you know?
Dude,
It was bad.
you just said that, and I just had this flashback of going into the magic store, being like 15, and seeing that there was like, you know, there was the books in the back, and then way over here, the highest shelf, far above the compenetrate, there was like, like those super thick boxes. Remember when they
Yeah.
needed to like make the packages feel like consistent with the price of them, so they
Totally.
put one in a box this thick.
I remember those.
They were like $80, and
$80 for a magic video. Totally.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I'll just get one of these $35 books. You know, $80.
Yep.
My God, sir.
Preposterous.
What do you mean it's a VHS?
I don't even know what a VHS is.
Do you have any beta tapes?
Right.
Does that magic video come in beta?
Never did.
Never did.
Never did. Much was it.
You made a bad choice if you bought a beta play.
It's true.
Dad was bummed about it for years.
It's definitely better quality though, from what I understand.
Hey, Mark, Richie wants you to blink if you're being held against your will.
Oh no.
Oh, Mark?
Yeah.
You don't want answers to answers to questions you don't want to know about.
He came here. He came in. He took the candy cane.
He came here voluntarily, man.
Got in the van. He accepted my candy.
Aaron said, "Do you want to come over and chat about beta tapes for a while?" And I said, "That sounds great. Yeah, I would love to."
It's a beta tape.
Hey, what?
I'll tell you what else. He rubbed the lotion on his skin.
Did
He
that?
put the lotion into the basket.
Basket.
And that's why he gets to sit on the couch now.
I do what I'm told.
Now it gets to sit on the couch.
Stop.
All right. So let's talk about that. Now, talk about like compenetra, right? Great name for a trick.
Yes.
So it's hard when you're coming up with a great name for your trick. I mean, it's really difficult to come up with a name that's really gonna stick. It's really gonna live through the ages. So this next Steve Bedwell trick is called tonsil tickler.
He did it. He really did it.
Alliteration works every time.
You know, magic names is a topic for a whole other show.
Mark's card was really good.
I've taken the art of sword swallowing
There it is in
to a
print.
whole new level. I swallow razor sharp doggy balloons.
Oh,
This is really sharp. Feel. Bang!
is this his thing?
Yeah, this is his thing, right?
This is a
I
much.
had no idea that it was his thing.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of people take credit for it, but this is Steve.
This guy looks.
You a funny noise to another balloon, but very sexy.
What'd you say? This guy what?
Looks really perfect with the balloon in his mouth.
Oh, nice.
Aw.
Ugh. Oh, wow. I'm not going to heal from that.
Okay, now for the explanations.
I think that's a really cool trick. I would never do it, but I think it's a really cool trick, man. I love it.
Many people do it, but you know, as soon as
So
you
weird.
said that, I thought about you doing it, and I thought that would never happen. When you said you were like, you know, I was like, I can't. This Alex is one guy for sure. I can't picture doing that under any circumstance.
No, never. But I love the trick. I think it's really a fooler. And, you know, I didn't know how it was done for years. I thought it was just really cool. But no, I don't think I'd ever venture into trying to do that.
That's his.
That's his. Steve Bedwell invented that. Yeah.
Everyone does that now. That's so in right now. It's like a
It's
big.
been in a long time. I feel like it's
I
one of
think
those,
probably about 5 years after he showed the magic community, everyone started doing it. That
Yeah.
wasn't gonna do
Hence
it.
the reason why magicians never make any money off their stuff, right?
of his stuff. You said.
You know, like it's so hard to make money off your stuff. It's like you do it, somebody figures out, and then they think, oh, once I figure it out, it's mine. You just do as much as I want.
Got one of those. It's what it is it's got a hallmark. It's like a stand-up trick.
Mm-hmm.
Acts small, plays big, and you literally can stick it in your change pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's got all the things that people would want to do it.
It checks all the boxes.
That's right. Packs small, plays weird.
Plays weird. Get you a lot of inquiries after the show.
You know.
Do you need the bird's eye camera to perform that?
That
trick?
really was production value at a whole other
Yeah,
level.
that was production value. That was for your benefit, Mark.
I was hoping for that view.
We've got this great cutaway planned.
Do you think they shot that like separately? Do you think they did like
Yeah, there's a couple shots on that particular production where they clearly like went after and edited in some, we'll make it better. It'll be easier for everyone to understand and see the clarity of the effect.
Do you think they were? Do you think they were labeled on the sheet "money shot"?
I do, actually.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it was strange. That was definitely a strange cut in there for that.
Very
No
odd.
doubt. No doubt.
I don't want to see that.
At least make the balloon blue.
That trick is just. I like the trick too. I think it's a great trick.
You should do it.
No, I think it'd be great for your act.
I think it'd be good for you. People wouldn't expect it coming from you.
Well, they'd expect it coming from you. I don't need to see that.
Apparently, you do.
Well,
there are. You're saying, Mark. There's a lot of people actually doing that balloon gag now.
Everybody.
I've been doing this a long time
I
now.
know they've been doing it a long time, but like, I guess maybe it's been on a bunch of TV shows recently.
Yeah.
Like, I've just seen it done to death, and every magician, it's like
To death.
to death. It's one of those things where every magician's like, should I add a balloon swallow in my show?
Add a
Like-
balloon swallow. They're like,
Yeah, but do a 9-inch round.
Should I add a contact tunnel in my act? Along with the balloon swallow?
It's so funny.
That's so funny. Max
So
Maven,
weird.
contact juggling is the name people have developed to make it easier to steal Michael Motion's act. You know, a balloon swallow. Should I add a spiked cup to my act? You know,
I was thinking for a while too, but then everybody who was performing it had to stop.
there was this Canadian guy that bled all over the carpet.
I heard about this guy. He had to pay for the carpet.
They had to pay for the carpet and kindly do not bleed and die on my people. Please.
In there.
He's the guy that has to tell people, I'm not going to do the bleeding on your carpet trick before I start my show, right?
Disclaimer.
Can you believe? And apparently, this guy, it's not Steve Bedwell, it's this other guy. He's, got some major artery blown, and he's crucified himself, for the sake of a 1 in 5.
Stigmata.
There's nothing like, crucifying yourself for 1 in 5. You know what I mean?
1 in 5.
It's like you're thinking of hearts. Thank you.
What are the actual chances you're going to crucify yourself? 20%.
It worked. We got lucky. Tonight was the night. Something truly amazing happened. So apparently he's, the show's over. He's twitching and sweating and pale, and he was
the
like,
carpet's ruined.
and he was aghast that the client was upset.
Apparently you can Google this.
I was going to say, that sounds horrible, but if you Google that, if you YouTube that trick, there's just tons of video of guys messing up, and the best ones are when they have the spectator's hand, and they're slamming the spectator's hand
No,
over
those
the
are the
thing
worst ones.
and miss.
You should have,
Those are the worst ones. Those creep me out so bad.
No, it's so terrible.
I just want
The worst is when they do it and the thing comes up with their hand.
I know.
Their hand.
So funny.
Those hurt. Just to watch it, it hurts. Like, oh,
I got a paper cut
turn
once.
it off.
I got a paper cut one time off the side. Yeah. It was
All right.
bad.
What's the single most embarrassing mess up you ever had on stage?
Who?
Everyone, quick, round robin.
Oh my God.
wait. I have.
Go ahead, Adam.
Sorry,
We know yours, Adam.
I've got so many. I
I
mean,
know.
yeah.
But we're talking pure embarrassment, though. Not anything else. Not animal cruelty, not bestiality. Just straight up red-faced humiliation of embarrassment.
Well, I told the story on my birthday. I walked out at a luncheon and fell completely on my ass in front of 250 people. Like not just trip, like bang, I'm looking at the ceiling.
Like Steven Tyler style?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty embarrassing.
All right.
And I remember thinking to myself, I guess I have to get up and keep going.
Oh, my God.
I didn't want to get up. I wanted to just belly, army crawl off the stage.
Maybe it's because Mark is here. But it was one night at the Magic Castle in the parlor, and I was working on a straitjacket escape. Steinmeier gave me this beautiful monologue, and I had this wonderful gaffed straitjacket that I bought. You know what I mean? And a gaffed straitjacket, it's got a trick strap in it that you can get in it, right? So I've been doing it all week, and my buddy Scott is there, and Scott's like done a straitjacket like jumping out of an airplane. So he's like totally like my expert, real escape artist friend. And I'm doing this thing, and I'm saying the stuff that Jim would say about his trick. I'm like, it's really about language and monologue, jacket. And I'm up there, and I'm doing the monologue, and I'm pressing against the straitjacket. And it's like there's 10 minutes of the show, and there's like another 10 minutes of this monologue. And I'm, I haven't even gotten to the first thing yet. And I'm straining. And the thing, and the strap just flies out of the jacket. And I'm,
No. Oh no!
Because it's not offensive; it's just embarrassing.
Ta-da!
It's so humiliating, and I have never had such a red face. I mean, it wasn't even. There was nothing. I don't even know what they saw. I just literally the blood rose to the top of my head, and I'm like, oh,
cards. You guys like cards?
Totally, dude. I went out. I was like, well. Maybe we'll end with, something traditional.
Estimation.
Well, Aaron, I set a premier African-American church on fire. So during my act, so that was quite embarrassing.
You mean like a mega
Can
church?
you get the story on that?
Yeah, it was like, it was a big Southern church that I was asked to perform at.
Is it a famous one? Or it's just a big Baptist church?
It would
In
have
its
been
day, it might have been
30. Yeah, if it still existed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing too.
Yeah.
But I hear you, man. We've all got those stories.